college football playoff rankings, penultimate edition. Essentially, like the TLDR is if Boise State and SMU win their conference championship games this weekend, then this is going to be the field for the college football playoff. And the way that that mostly is impacted is Alabama getting the last spot over Miami, over Ole Miss, over South Carolina. So the top of the rankings, Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, and I know Vols fans feel some kind of way about Ohio State staying ranked ahead of Tennessee despite losing to Michigan. I can't say Michigan like a normal person anymore, thanks to you, so I appreciate
Tennessee
that
lose to Arkansas?
addition to my life. Yes, they sure did.
Shut the hell up. Go ahead.
SMU, Indiana, Boise State, Alabama there at the magical number 11. And then a reminder to everyone, the top-ranked conference champions and 5 conference champions. So the Big 12 conference champion in that game between Arizona State and Iowa State will make it into the field. The points the chair made when it came to Alabama getting that spot ahead of Miami, Ole Miss, South Carolina was that Alabama is 3-1 against top 25 opponents. Alabama is 6-1 against teams above 500, while Miami is 4-2. However, I might point out, again, all of this is silly. All of this is goofy because Miami did not lose by 3 touchdowns to a bad Oklahoma team. And 2 of Alabama's wins over teams that are above 500 are to Mercer and Western Kentucky.
They can't be counting Mercer. Mercer is FCS.
I'm pretty sure they're counting Mercer.
They can't be counting Mercer.
I'm pretty certain they're counting Mercer.
Hop in the box, Jacob. No, you keep talking.
They're not okay.
You keep talking.
Do the research.
Yeah.
So that's the case for Alabama. Then you look at a South Carolina team that, by these rankings, just got eliminated.
Jacob points out that 1 FCS game per season counts.
Yes.
And so they are counting Mercer. You can count them as a win.
Sure.
Fine. You can't count them in anything credible.
I mean, but they are. And they used that in their
actual.
But that's my point, is you can make cases for everyone. South Carolina, who will never be able to, or was never going to be able to shake their losses to Alabama and to Ole Miss. Those are head-to-head games that they
That's the first
lost,
tiebreaker.
despite the fact that South Carolina is playing some of the best football right now of any of those teams and just beat a Clemson team that now has the opportunity to go beat SMU in the ACC Conference Champion game. And so even though South Carolina just beat Clemson, South Carolina's out, Clemson still has a path forward. It gets all over the place. And for SMU, a team that right now is solidly in the field, there is now no guarantee if SMU loses to Clemson in the ACC championship game that SMU has a spot. So they are almost penalized. It will come down to the conversation of should you be penalized for making your conference championship game. Again, it's a game you have to win, but then you have a team like Indiana who doesn't have the chance to lose in a conference championship game in the Big Ten, and they are in the field. None of this matters. Like, Chris asked me, how does it feel for your sport to have something so dumb? And I said, college football is the dumbest sport in the world. Of course we have something so dumb. It doesn't bother me. None of this is making me angry. I think it's kind of fun. It's funny to see the variations of athletic directors getting in fights on social media right now. The Iowa State athletic director started it. His name is Jamie Pollard. He said he was disappointed that the strength of schedule does not matter for SMU, Indiana, and Boise State, and that the message is clear: win as many games as possible, regardless of who you play. To which Rick Hart, the SMU athletic director, came back and said, Jamie, respect you, but bad take. Iowa State had North Dakota, Iowa, and Arkansas State. SMU had Nevada, Holy Cross, TCU, BYU, and scrambled due to Vanderbilt dropping us. SMU, one of 2 teams to win all conference games, one of 3 teams with 9-point wins, and trailed by a total of 6 minutes the last 9 games. Stay off my lawn. But Jamie came back and said, your lawn may be artificial. He said, beat Clemson Saturday. I'll respect your ranking. Until then, you did not play Clemson, Miami, Georgia Tech, or Syracuse and lost to BYU at home.
We can't be arguing about whether or not Holy Cross and
but we can.
North Dakota?
Oh, yes.
Like, come on, man. We're not doing that.
When I first saw that, I was like, they played Notre Dame. No. It's North Dakota.
I'm not doing that with you people. I'm not. So if SMU loses,
yes,
I'll ask you, I guess we go SMU, Alabama, Indiana, maybe? Like, who's the one left out?
If SMU loses, I would put SMU in over Alabama, but I don't think that is guaranteed to happen based on how you've seen the committee weigh the ACC, how they weighed the ACC and the Big 12. I mean, right now, the question, too, is what seed if Boise beats UNLV on Friday, do they get the top 4 seed, or does that Big 12 champion jump Boise? They still could get home field advantage, certainly, but where are they seated in it? Or is it fair for the Big 12 champion, considering that they are further down? I forget, is it 16 and 18 for Arizona State and Iowa State? Wherever they were. That's why the Iowa State athletic director is popping off on social media and going back and forth with the SMU athletic director. In former years, sure, give the benefit of the doubt to Alabama and a Nick Saban coached Alabama team. But this Alabama team, the team I saw
fresh off a loss to
Vanderbilt rushed
Oklahoma?
the field on earlier this season,
Rightfully
a Vanderbilt
so.
team that lost to Georgia State, an Alabama team that scored 3 measly points against Oklahoma. I'm not giving the benefit of the doubt to that team. But we'll see. It certainly sets up intrigue going into Sunday's not penultimate rankings, but final rankings.
Boise State loses to UNLV.
Oh, that's their worst case scenario.
Army beats Tulane. UNLV is in now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine.
You wouldn't move Army
up
over? I guess you can't.
No, it's after they got their
UNLV's losses to Boise. They would avenge that loss on a neutral field.
Right.
I guess that's still, so it's what conference is that again?
Mountain West.
All right, it's the Mountain West champ gets in.
And the first time around, too, if I remember correctly, they only lost by 5?
I think so.
So it was a close game.
It was a close game. Okay. The end of
I wish Memphis was in the AAC championship game just so we could flirt with the idea of, I saw the AAC athletic director was out here saying, well, maybe someone should look at Memphis, even though they're not in the AAC. I was like, get out of here. No. You can't do this.
No.
I did have a conspiracy theory.
I want to hear it.
When it's been blown to smithereens when Memphis beat Tulane. But if Tulane had still been a 2-loss team and AAC champion, and if they had to make a decision about the Big 12 champion in that case, and if the Big 12 had gotten left out, if the committee would have done it in hopes of Boise State, and in this mythical universe, Boise State and Tulane making it to the playoff and then getting crushed in the playoff, and like resting on that possibility so that then they could very quickly work on getting the non-power schools out of the playoff altogether.
Gotcha.
And they could still do, like if Boise State does get the 4 seed and goes in and gets
let's be clear,
stomped.
People are finna get blown out in this.
Sure.
People finna get the hell beat out of them. I think this is the best way we've done it so far. Is it stupid? Yeah. Is it any dumber than having nobody play each other? Right? For most of my childhood, damn near the entirety, one never played 2 in bowl games. Right? Every now and then you would get it, but most of the time they didn't play, and you end up with co-champions somehow. Is it any dumber than that? No, it's way better than that. How about the BCS where only 2 teams got in? It's certainly better than that. And last year, in the iteration of the CFP where only 4 teams, this is certainly much better than that. You got to get as many teams who deserve to be in as possible. There's got to be a cutoff line somewhere, whether it's at 12 or 16 or 18, I don't know, but there's got to be a cutoff somewhere, and no matter what, whoever is seated just outside of it or 2 spots outside of it, they're going to complain, and there will be arguments no matter what. Yeah. But what you've got to do is find a way to create a tournament where you get the most deserving teams in on any given year. I like this 12-teamer. I would probably have Miami in over Alabama. That's me, though. I can hear arguments on both sides and be swayed either way. But outside of that, man, go out there and play football. Let's go.
I hate hypothetical games. I love games. So
actual games.
Give me
play on the field.
The more games, the merrier. And I can't wait to see how it all pans out.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.